Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. On this one I will be making a Retribution Paladin guide for the patch 8.0.1. Well, the first thing I will talk about in this guide are strengths and weaknesses of Retribution Paladins and where are we at the moment. Then I will be talking about the talent choices, then about the rotation, and finally about our best gear that we can get at the moment, our stat weights, and gems and enchants to get the most DPS out of them. So let's start this guide. Okay, so let's talk about strengths and weaknesses. Okay, our biggest strength as a Retribution Paladin is our single target DPS. We are really good at that. I can show you here some simulations of other sites that put us up there on the charts. So in my experience I can tell you that this is true. I've been doing a lot of mythic dungeons these past weeks and we do a lot of boss damage. So our next big strength is our talent choices. We have a lot of talents we can take this time. When Legion came around we didn't have this. We only have a pretty straightforward set of talents that we can take. Now we can take Crusade, we can take Inquisition, we can take Divine Purpose. We have a lot of choice this time and that's always nice to have. So our next strength is we have a lot of utility. We bring a lot of things to the table. We can give our group a Blessing of Protection, Blessing of Freedom. We can off-heal them. We have our Lay on Hands for emergencies. We have our Bubble that helps us soak stuff, and we also can take more defensive options with our talent trees with Eye for an Eye to increase our physical resistances. We have a lot of things that help our group when it comes to that. So our weaknesses. One of our biggest weaknesses is that we are not very mobile. We can talent for it, we get Cavalier, but we give up some defensive options for it. But that's somewhat of a weakness. Okay, our next one is that we are in the middle of the pack when it comes to AoE. We can talent for it, but we are sacrificing what's the best of us, and that's our single target DPS. So that's one of our biggest weaknesses. Okay, so having said all that, Retribution Paladins are in a great spot at the moment. We will not have any problems finding groups to do Mythic Plus keys or getting into right groups. Also, especially when it comes to tyrannical weeks, our single target damage will be really useful there, and our defensive options will also be really nice there. So let's go to the talents. Okay, so I will talk about talents now. I will give a general view of all the talents and why I don't take them, and after that I will give 2 example builds of my most used ones. So on the first row, level 15, I would avoid taking Execution Sentence. It's not that it's a bad talent, but for me it only adds an extra global cooldown, and I'd rather use just Righteous Verdict that doesn't for single target. After that, Zeal is very useful when there's more targets, like it's an AoE talent on that row. After that, on the level 30 row, you should take Blade of Wrath or Fires of Justice and avoid Hammer of Wrath. That's because at the moment we aren't stacking Mastery. We are using mostly Crit and Haste, and the Hammer of Wrath doesn't benefit from any of those. So I would stick with Blade of Wrath or Fires of Justice. On the level 45 row, you can take whatever you want. It's a personal choice row, but it depends also on the encounters. So Fist of Justice helps you stun things more frequently. Repentance if you need to CC things and you don't have enough CC in your group. And Blinding Light can help when your tank pulls a large pack and you don't have enough CCs for all the trash. You can just Blind of Light and it will be an AoE CC. So on the level 60 row, Divine Judgment is the one to avoid. At the moment it isn't worth it. It's the worst talent of that row. So I would stick with Consecration or Wake of Ashes. So Consecration depends if your tank is moving the trash around, it loses its value. So if that's the case, take Wake of Ashes. Also, Wake of Ashes has the benefit of slowing the targeted hits and stunning them if they are demons or undead. Okay, so on the row level 75, this is another personal row. It's the defensive one. You can take Unbreakable Spirit. This reduces the cooldown of your Divine Shield and your Shield of Vengeance by 30%. Also your Lay on Hands. You can take also Cavalier if you need more mobility, or you can take Eye for an Eye to get an extra physical damage reduction. So the row level 90, this is the healing row. This one I would avoid just to Curse Vengeance. It's a bad talent because it costs a lot of holy power and the heal isn't really good. Probably this is just a talent you could take on PvP and use with Divine Purpose procs, but for PvE it's just a waste of holy power. The other two ones, Selfless Healer and Word of Glory, are really nice. Each has its uses. Word of Glory is if the group is taking a lot of damage, or you think the group will take a lot of damage, you can talent to it to help your healer. And Selfless Healer should be my default option because it helps in any situation. You can help someone that's low health and just pop a Flash of Light instantly on them with extra healing. On the level 100 row, you can take whichever of those three talents here. Crusade lags a bit behind Inquisition or Divine Purpose, but if you like how Legion Retribution Paladins were played, you can still take it and not lose that much DPS. After that, Crusade, Divine Purpose and Inquisition are interchangeable. Both are almost on the same level of DPS. I would say Inquisition is the reliable DPS talent and Divine Purpose is the RNG one. Okay, so this is my first example build. I take a Righteous Verdict, Blade of Wrath, Fist of Justice, Wake of Ashes, Eye for an Eye, Selfless Healer, and Divine Purpose. This build is mostly single target, but it has some AoE with procs of Divine Purpose that we use on our Divine Storm. This build is good if there isn't a high priority target that you have to blow up, since the nature of RNG on purpose sometimes won't allow it. If that's the case, you can change Divine Purpose for Inquisition, and the damage should be more reliable. Okay, our next build is an AoE centric build. We take Zeal, we take Blade of Wrath, we take Consecration, Eye for an Eye, Selfless Healer, and Inquisition. This build is more focused on big trash packs because of the Consecration and reliable damage of Inquisition. So it depends mostly on how you're tanking, how your tank is tanking the trash, because if he's moving them around, you're going to be better off with Wake of Ashes. Okay, so this is we sacrifice a bit of single target DPS to do more AoE. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the rotations. Okay, so on this first rotation test, we start with Avenging Wrath, then we use Wake of Ashes, then we spend, then we use Blade of Wrath, then we use our Judgment, spend with the extra damage. We always try to use the proc of Blade of Justice because we don't want it to go to waste. We use our Crusader Strike as our last priority spell to build, and we go on forward from that. Okay, this is the Inquisition build. The difference is we start with a Blade of Wrath, then we use Judgment, we have 3 Holy Power, then we use Inquisition, then we use Avenging Wrath, Wake of Ashes, and start spending. Always remember to use your Blade of Wrath procs so they don't go to waste. After that, use always your Judgment on cooldown and Crusader Strike as last priority builder. After that, just continue as normal, refresh Inquisition when 10 seconds are left on it. Also, never use Avenging Wrath if Inquisition has less than 20 seconds on it. Okay guys, to finish up the video, I want to leave here a list of all the Azeroth gear that's best in slot for us, what traits to pick from them, our best in slot weapon, our best in slot trinkets, the best gems to use, and our enchant of choice. I also leave here our stat priority, and I will explain now why is it like that. It's strength, haste, crit, versatility, and mastery. This is because our Azeroth gear and our weapon have damage over time procs and some other small damage procs that benefit greatly from haste and crit. So guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if it was useful to you, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.